Hello everyone, welcome back to Lucky15, where I'll be giving you day 3 predictions of my preview through the card for glorious Goodwood, where we'll be at tomorrow working for BBC Local Radio. I won't be filming tomorrow at Goodwood, but I will be able to give you updates on my Twitter feed. If you don't follow us there already, at LuckyLoaders15. I'll go through on how today's selections ran in a minute, but if you're brand new to the channel, welcome to LuckyLoaders15. I created this channel back in March, and we've grown from strength to strength, getting new subscribers every week, and thank you for all your support so far. My dream job is to be a horse racing journalist, and I'm going back to university to study a master's degree in sports broadcasting journalism in September, and that's the reason I created the channel, to gain some experience in creating content every day and presenting in front of the camera, uploading videos, and just having a bit of fun with the sport I love the most, which is horse racing, just giving you my predictions and what I think might make the frame. We normally do an each way Lucky 15 bet, so if you don't understand what we're doing as we go along, go and research Lucky 15 bet. That's one of the most common bets amongst punters. I'm just going to go through on how today's selections ran at Goodwood. Goodwood so far is turning into a very hard festival to predict. We've had a lot of long odds winners. Our best selections of the day were Medieval, which came in for us in the places. We got it at 20 to 1 overnight, and its final SP was 8 to 1. We also had White Chocolate, which was our nap, finished in 4th, but a lot of bookmakers were paying like the first 4, 5 and 6 places, so it kind of counts, I guess. But that wasn't a bad selection. White Chocolate, it wasn't always going to win, but it was always grinding out a not a bad run under Josephine Gordon. She got it in 4th place in the end, so that wasn't a bad selection there. Our other selection that did place, but it's not really a good place, was Ribchester. It was the odds-on favourite after Churchill got withdrawn in the Sussex Stakes. The outsider Here Comes When won that race, which was a bit of a surprise, but the conditions did tend to help it. The conditions at Goodwood today were one of the worst in recent times at Goodwood. The clerk of the course, who's retiring this year, said it was one of the worst days he's ever seen at Goodwood for the conditions, on the way how the ground became. So it'd be interesting to see what the ground's like tomorrow. He's described it as soft, but it could possibly dry out a little bit, because we're not due too much rain in the south of England tomorrow. So we'll see how that affects tomorrow, but it will be probably soft for a lot of the day, because it will take a while, obviously, for the ground to dry out. But I'm just going to go through on how tomorrow's selections will run, on what I think will run well, and we'll go through the card through all 7 races. We'll also go to Galway, which I forgot to mention. Also, we backed in the Galway plate today. We backed Shane's Hill for Ruby Walsh and Willie Mullins. That came in 2nd place in the end, behind the Henry de Bromhead horse. That wasn't a bad selection by us. It was the favourite in the end, Shane's Hill, but we got it 8 to 1, and that was part of our second each way Lucky 15 bet, which made up Goodwood races 5, 6 and 7, and then the Galway one, and we ended up in some profit in that, and that managed to cancel out our first shocker earlier on today on our first each way Lucky 15. So we made a bit of profit today, and it wasn't the worst day we've ever had at horse racing. And I know a lot of people out there are struggling at the moment. It's definitely the bookies festival so far at Goodwood. But anyway, our selections that run tomorrow sees us go to the 150 at Goodwood, and the horse that we've chosen in the first race is a horse called Good Omen, which is trained by David Simcock. Jamie Spencer takes a ride. Typical Jamie Spencer ride, this one. The horse likes to be held up and delivered late, and this horse comes in here in not bad form. Last time out, winner at Yarmouth. Prior to that, it did run at Royal Ascot, where you can put a line through it that day. Didn't turn up. Probably the ground might have been a bit too fast for it, and not all horses take to Royal Ascot. And then before that, I won in a small field at Doncaster over soft ground, so that should play to its strengths tomorrow. 10 to 1 bookmakers at the moment. Sky Bet, who we normally do our festival bets with, all the big meetings and that, because they pay out a lot of places. They're paying 6 places in the first race tomorrow, and I thought 10 to 1, this horse should definitely make the frame tomorrow, and that's going to be our first selection in the 150 at Goodwood. We then go on to what was known as the Lily Langtry Stakes and the 225 at Goodwood. And the horse that we've gone for here is Aljezeera, trained by Luca Comani. Frankie Dettori takes a ride. This is one of the more outsiders in the race tomorrow, 16-1 with bookmakers, but slightly raced. It won on its first ever start at Doncaster, then wasn't seen again until May this year on its seasonal reappearance on soft ground, where it finished in 3rd place. Now, it's hard to know what that horse is capable of. It's off a mark in the high 80s. This horse has definitely got to step up tomorrow, but it's unexposed. I thought Frankie Dettori was quite an interesting jockey booking. It's by Frankel as well, which we know is a good horse to be related to, but he's yet to really prove himself as a top class sire, Frankel, but I'm sure he will one day. I don't think he's had a classic winner yet. Let us know if he has. I think he might have had one in Japan, but not one over here that I can remember, or he's at least not had one this season. So let us know if you think Frankel will become a good sire one day like he was a racehorse. But I thought this horse tomorrow, Aljezeera, could bring a surprise with what's been going on of late. It's ran on soft ground, so it wouldn't be too unfamiliar to it, and this horse could have the potential to deliver more. So I thought at a shout tomorrow, 16 to 1, it's going to be our long shot on the vlog for tomorrow. So that's our selection there in the 225 at Goodwood. We then go over to the 3 o'clock at Goodwood, and this is a bit of a tricky race for tomorrow. The horse that we've gone for here is a horse called US Navy Flag, trained by Aidan O'Brien, ridden by Ryan Moore tomorrow. This horse has made a big improvement since it's been using the blinkers. Last time out, finished at Newmarket in the July Festival second, behind Card Sharp, who it re-opposes tomorrow, but I thought this horse could overturn the form. He doesn't mind the cut in the ground. He won a race the first time he used the blinkers in Ireland, then he used them second time at Newmarket. Not a bad race. He's currently around 11 to 2 bookmakers tomorrow, and I thought he had a really good chance of making the frame in the race tomorrow, and that's why I've gone for him there. So Aidan O'Brien's been a bit quiet. He tends to do well at this festival, and I thought he could be the one to beat tomorrow, US Navy Flag. In the 3 o'clock, our big race selection tomorrow in the 3:35 in the Nassau Stakes sees us go for a bit of an outsider, not a complete outsider, but the horse that we've gone for here is Sobetsu, currently around 6 to 1 with bookmakers at the moment. I thought it was quite an interesting horse on paper. Saw Charlie Appleby on the television today putting a good word for this horse, especially with the way conditions have become of late over Goodwood today. And this horse does like the soft ground. It's a previous listed winner on its seasonal reappearance this season over in France at Deauville, where it won nicely that day. And it then went on to Epsom, where I think you can really forgive it, because that race was the Oaks, which Enable won, and we all know what Enable's gone on to achieve. But you could argue as well that Epsom was probably a bit too of a difficult test for this horse, and also as well it was going up in trip. It didn't stay the trip. It was leading a lot of the time in the Oaks, but it really faded towards the last furlong or so, and that probably played against it. It's back down to its more comfortable trip tomorrow over 10 furlongs, which it has won over a couple of times, and I thought this horse definitely had a good chance tomorrow of making the frame, at least in the race. Its main threat tomorrow and the one to beat is the Aidan O'Brien trained a horse, I should say, Windsor, which is stepping up in trip tomorrow. It's been in a great run of form, winning at Ascot. It won Newmarket and the Guineas, so it's one of the main in-form horses in horse racing at the moment. But I have a bit of a question mark if she can last the trip, because she's tended to be more of a horse that kind of just stays on one pace, but like a fast one pace, if you know what I mean, and isn't a horse that can show a quick burst of exhilaration. So it'd be interesting to see that race tomorrow. It's probably the best race on paper, and we'll see what runs well tomorrow in that race. So let us know what you think will run well in the 3:35 in the Nassau Stakes. So that concludes the end of our first each way Lucky 15 bet. We then go over to the 4:10 to start our second each way Lucky 15 bet, and the horse that we go for here is a Mark Johnston train runner, and Mark Johnston tends to do well in these kind of races. It's a nursery tomorrow, and the horse that we've gone for here is our nap for tomorrow, Poetic Steps. It's going to be ridden by PJ McDonald, who rode his first winner ever at Goodwood today, and he's been riding well of late, especially for Mark Johnston. It's 6 to 1 bookmakers at the moment. It's got 100% win record so far, 2 wins from 2 starts. It won first time out on soft ground at Hamilton, so I love the ground. Went up to 7 furlongs where it made all in a nice race next time out. And I thought, with Mark Johnston's good record in these types of races, 6 to 1, soft ground winner, should be in the mix tomorrow, and that's going to be our nap for tomorrow in the 4:10 at Goodwood. So watch out for that one. We then go over to the maiden in the 4:45 at Goodwood, where we've gone for the obvious favourite, Magical, trained by Aidan O'Brien. Ryan Moore takes the ride. This horse finished second last time out at Curragh, behind a nice horse which has gone on to run not badly since. And also as well, this horse is the full sister to Rhododendron, who's turned out to be not a bad horse. This horse as well is one of the only horses in here with any experience. A lot of them are newcomers, but you would expect Magical to be the best horse in the race tomorrow, and is definitely the one to beat. But apart from that, it could be a wide open race, and that's why we've gone for it, because I can't really see anything else really showing up tomorrow and being blistering starter in its career, because a lot of these horses are represented by trainers that tend to take time in their horses, so it would be a bit of a, not a shock, but it wouldn't be a common thing for one of these trainers to produce a first time out winner in one of these kind of races. We then go over to the 520 at Goodwood, and the horse that we've gone for here is trained by Kevin Ryan. It's called Major Jumbo. He'll be using the services of David Egan tomorrow, who'll be able to use his £5 claim. This horse is very consistent, often finishing in the places. It also doesn't mind cutting the ground. It's run on soft and run not too badly on soft. And I thought 9-2 tomorrow. Major Jumbo had a good chance of being a prominent horse in the race, and that's why we've gone for him there in the 520 at Goodwood in the Tatler Handicap. We then go over for our last selection tomorrow, over to the Galway Hurdle. Horse we've gone for here is a horse called Project Bluebook, and it's trained by John Quinn. Brian Hughes has flown over to take the ride tomorrow. Interesting that he should do so. He's got not a bad relationship with this horse. Project Bluebook won at Ferry House back in April. It's a smart hurdler. It's going to be receiving a lot of weight tomorrow. He's had a good career so far over hurdles, 3 wins from 6 starts, and I thought at 14-1 this horse was definitely overpriced and could be one of those horses that punters get into tomorrow, and could be maybe the each way horse in the race tomorrow. And I thought this horse could possibly win the race tomorrow because he's got that kind of potential. He's young, he's going to be receiving weight as well, and I thought he was not a bad shout there at the prices tomorrow. So let us know what you think will run well tomorrow in the Galway Hurdle. Also as well, let us know what your best bets are for Glorious Goodwood tomorrow. Let us know in the comments box below. Also let us know so far how you've been doing. So yeah, so all in all, it's been a tough Glorious Goodwood so far. We've gone through all the cards for day 3. Hopefully we'll have some winners tomorrow. I'm hopefully going to have a bit of fun as well working with the BBC. I won't be doing any filming like I said, but I'll be on Twitter throughout the day. So follow us at Lucky15 on Twitter. There, you can also check us out on Facebook if you wish as well. So yeah, so hopefully we'll have a good day tomorrow. Follow me on Twitter, subscribe to the channel if you don't do so already for more horse racing daily content, and we'll be seeing you soon.